Hey kiddies, it's terrible triple feature time once again, and we're looking at movies that were turned into musicals that were turned into movie musicals based on the musicals that were based on the movies that originally inspired them.
Good morning, Baltimore.
Now, this was my roommate slash buddy Higgins 34's idea, and it's a pretty good one. And the movies I like for the most part, except I had to change it because originally our menu was going to include The Producers, Hairspray, and then The Little Shop of Horrors. But here's the thing, The Producers is awful. I really tried. I watched all 6 of these movies, and the originals and then the musicals, and I really couldn't get through The Producers musical at all. It just, the songs were boring, the jokes were really bad. I mean, it was all like the worst examples of Mel Brooks that you could find, all wrapped into one. And that's even before you get into, I don't even know what Matthew Broderick was doing. Hell, I don't even know what happened to Matthew Broderick, but he's just turned into a very boring actor. Very good singing voice, but just dull. And Nathan Lane, he's just doing Nathan Lane. But, you know, Nathan Lane is not Cyril Nostell. These are detractors. So, our menu is actually going to include Reefer Madness instead, and then Hairspray, and then Little Shop of Horrors. Reefer Madness was originally an anti-pot propaganda-y film way back in, I want to say the 40s and 50s. It became something of a cult classic, and then a bunch of guys got the idea to put music to it, and they turned it into a musical. Now, it was going to run on Broadway. Just as it was getting ready to hit the stage in Broadway, September 11th, 2001 happened, and oddly enough, nobody wanted to laugh in New York at the time. So it didn't happen, but they did manage to keep all the cast together long enough to make a movie for Showtime based on it. And it's just dynamite. The songs are fantastic. They're really catchy. They almost never leave my MP3 player, as with Little Shop and soon to be Hairspray, but I'll get to that. Love everybody in the cast. As our surrogate pot smoker, Christian Campbell, is great. His girlfriend, Mary Lane, played by Kristen Bell, who, this was a revelation for me. I talked about this movie before in the triple feature for horror movies that crushed all of their stars' talent to later be revealed to be very, very talented. I never watched Veronica Mars. I had first seen Kristen Bell in the American remake of Kairos, Pulse. And it's very dull and very boring. And then I see this. She's singing, she's dancing, she's just adorable and hilarious. In addition to her, we've got Steven Weber, we've got Anna Gasteyer from Saturday Night Live, just killing it. All throughout is the always brilliant Alan Cumming playing several different evil roles, and just with great aplomb. I love him as the anti-pot spokesperson, and just whenever he pops up in his various forms, including the marijuana satyr, Dionysus type figure. He's just phenomenal. And again, all of the songs are really, really clever. I especially love the Shakespeare song, the Romeo and Juliet song. The lyrics are really just phenomenal. It is. I always come back to the one line, like the gag of the song is, you need to know poetry to woo a girl, and Jimmy and Mary are singing about how much they love Shakespeare's writing, and Jimmy has a line, "His articulations of a lover's palpitations are so keen," and that kind of gets to the heart of the subversive wit of all of the songs, and that's even before you get to Robert Torti as Jesus Christ in Heaven, a la Tom Jones. So, telling you, it's on DVD, find it. It just, I never get tired of that one. Next up we have Hairspray, and I'd never seen either version of it before, and I know I live in Baltimore, but I still haven't gotten to all of the John Waters films that I need to. I have, however, seen Pink Flamingo, so I think that extends the deadline for me for like another 2 years to see all of them, because Jesus fucking Christ. Pink Flamingos. But so I watched the original Hairspray, which does include Divine. And that movie was just adorable. It's everything you want a John Waters movie to be. Clever, subversive again, tongue-in-cheek, but with, a very optimistic charm to it. And Ricky Lake is really great in it. The cast, I was very impressed. Debbie Harry and Sonny Bono as the Van Tassel couple is great. Divine restrains herself for Tracy's mother and Jerry Stiller. I mean, come on. What movie isn't made better with Jerry Stiller's presence? The answer, none. Go out and watch Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. It's freaking awesome. But then I watched the movie based on the musical, and wow, these songs are really, really good. They clapped on to the 50s rhythm and bluesy, Motowny sound, and very, very good songs. I love the opening number, Good Morning Baltimore. That is how you open a musical, and they kept all of a lot of the dialogue from the original film, and all the important beats, and just the message of accept everybody. So what's really great about both movies is that the more obvious message is, of course, the integration message, which is important, but the root one, which Waters is getting at, is everybody should accept everybody. And now we've got it with these really great songs and the performances. That cast is incredible. Newcomer Nikki Blonsky plays the Ricky Lake role. Tracy Turnblad, and she can move and she can dance. Great. And then you got everybody else, which includes Amanda Bynes, pre-Lindsay Lohan-esque. James Marsden, who I'm pretty sure if I met, I would punch him in the face. Mainly because, guys, he's making the rest of us look bad. Nobody should be that handsome, that good an actor, and be able to sing and dance. The bar is impossibly high. It kind of explains why he always gets these second fiddle douchey roles in superhero films like Cyclops or Richard White, Perry White's uncle / cuckold to Lois Lane, because he's just too perfect, and so we have to take him down a peg. Queen Latifah as Motormouth is wonderful because, like Jerry Stiller, you're going to want more Queen Latifah in your movie. Zac Efron, I'd never really seen him in stuff because I'm not a 15-year-old girl, and so just great, knocking it out of the park. And then you get the big ones. Michelle Pfeiffer taking over the Debbie Harry role was inspired and just great singer and dancer. We'd seen how good she was at singing and dancing in Grease 2 with the musical or dance numbers and bowling triple feature a couple months back. And then you got the big ones. Tracy's parents, played by Christopher Walken as his dad, and John Travolta in drag as Tracy's mother. And John Travolta is very, very good. Christopher Walken, probably the most cuddly you'll ever see Christopher Walken. He's even cuddlier than he was in Joe Dirt, because he's not an ex-gangster or anything like that. It's just very, very happy about this triple feature. Otherwise, I probably never would have watched either of those movies, and they're both really, really great. Then finally, we got the classic, Little Shop of Horrors, music and book by Alan Menken, based on the Roger Corman B-movie classic. You can really easily pair Little Shop of Horrors with Reefer Madness in terms of origins, because just very culty, little-known 50s, 60s black and white film turned into lavish Broadway musical with incredible songs. Love the Motown vibe of Little Shop of Horrors, and everybody's great in it. If you haven't seen it at this point, you owe it to yourself, because, as I said before in the Rick Moranis and sci-fi comedies, Rick Moranis is always a good time. Ellen Green as Audrey 1, brilliant. Yeah. Steve Martin, he's in it for maybe 10 whole minutes as Dr. Orton Scrivello. Oh my god. Just the song and the performance and the whole scene he has with the masochist played by Bill Murray in this version. It was Jack Nicholson in the original film as the masochist is wonderful. And then, of course, Levi Stubbs as Audrey 2, the cause of all the horror. Just wonderful. The soundtrack never leaves my MP3 player because they're catchy. And that really is the reason why Producers doesn't fit with these, because they're really boring songs. They are not nearly as clever as any of the other films' songs. And I can't think of even one that has like a beat to it. I mean, I like the Springtime for Hitler song too, but that was in the original movie. This was like the one thing that they didn't change. And don't get me wrong, I love that it's Captain Jack, John Barrowman, playing the lead tenor for Springtime for Hitler, but it's not enough. I did like the dance number with Nathan Lane and all the old ladies. That was funny. But everything else is just a chore. As opposed to Little Shop, Hairspray, and Reefer Madness, which, I mean, they make it look easy. They're all just effortlessly entertaining. You find yourself humming along to all the songs very easily. Like I said, Hairspray I'd never heard before, and I'm just humming along and downloading everything, surreptitiously. But these are all great musicals. If you like Mel Brooks, you'll like Producers. If not, but can't recommend highly enough Reefer Madness, the Hairspray musical, and the Little Shop of Horrors musical. It is not a wasted afternoon or evening if you spend them with these musical numbers. So go out, watch them. Let me know if you like any of them, or yell at me for bad-mouthing Mel Brooks, which apparently is wrong, even though sometimes he's really, really bad. I'm not talking Blazing Saddles and Young Frankenstein, but you know what I mean. Either way, I'll see you guys next week.